Hi everybody, welcome to the Makeup Chair. Today I'm going to be showing you the Blank Canvas Cosmetics palettes because a lot of you were thinking of getting them and you wanted to see which one to get. So I'm going to talk you through kind of my favorites and talk about what's in them and all that kind of stuff, so just keep watching. So there's 4 in the collection. You have 2 that are just eyeshadows, and then you have 1 that has eyeshadows and blush, and then 1 that has blush and kind of contoured powders. Let's start off with the contour kit. We have 6 powders in here. We have 2 bronzers, 2 kind of highlighter kind of powders, we have a blush, and then we have an in-between, so it's not too light but it's not too dark. They're all matte, there's no shimmer in these at all. They're beautiful texture, I love working with them, I use these all the time. And I am a huge fan of like having the whole collection there because it just looks so nice, especially if you're working on clients and you're a makeup artist. Just having this out on the table, it just looks so pretty. But aside from that, just using it day to day, it's nice to have just a very thin little container that has everything in it. Moving on to the shadow and the blush palette, you don't have to use these for just blush, like you can use them for eyeshadow as well. We've got a variety of matte shades and shimmery shades in here. Some of them are like really deep tones, some of them are slightly warmer, kind of peachy tones. These blushes down here, these are all matte, and then this one has a little bit of shimmer to it. As far as pigment goes, there's a variety of pigments. Some of them are a little bit sheer, and then some of them are a little bit kind of deeper and more pigmented. If you layer the sheer ones with a cream one first, you do get a little bit more pigment, and then if you layer them with the very highly pigmented one, you really get a punch of color. So it's up to yourself whether you want to work with like high intense or sheer kind of coverage. It really is just depending on the looks that you're creating, but there is a look that you can create, like a million looks with this depending on the combination that you use. Moving on to the next eyeshadow set, and this is the neutral palette. I really find myself using this a lot. I love this palette because it has a variety of mostly kind of matte shades. It has the odd kind of shimmery shade thrown in there as well, so you can create different looks. And especially for like a bridal makeup artist, and for most makeup artists, you do find yourself doing natural looks a lot of the time, and this has a variety of different colors that you can work with different skin tones. Similar to the blush and the eyeshadow palette, some of these are sheerer and then some of them are a little bit more intense, and I do find layering it is the best thing, is to layer them with different things. But if you have this palette and then just add on a few single eyeshadows that you're a big fan of as well, then you're pretty much good to go, because this has everything in it that you could need for like a neutral look. But you could also use the darker shades in the eyebrows. I use this color and this one for my eyebrows. I use the black occasionally for like setting my eyeliner or applying a little bit more kind of worked into the crease or underneath the eyes or on the actual lash line itself. So that black works pretty well. It's fairly pigmented. This shade is one of my favorites, so it's the kind of peachy, shimmery shade, and I love it. I use it pretty much every day. It's got a good amount of dent in this one because I am a huge fan of it. These are kind of like yellow tones going into peachy tones, going into deep browns as well. So there's a variety of pretty much everything that you could use for using a natural look, depending on what you kind of go for and your skin tone as well. Out of all the palettes that are available, the shimmering palette is probably the most pigmented out of it, which is kind of a common thing because a lot of matte shadows are a little bit more difficult to work with and they don't have as much payoff. But with shimmery shades, you get a lot of color, a lot of payoff with this. So there's highly pigmented colors. They're all shimmery shades, so I would prefer using these mixed with the neutral palette so that you can have a little bit more of a sheer neutral or a matte color, and then layer it with these as well. The great thing about this, and one thing that I just want to point out, is this black at the bottom isn't totally as shimmery as all the other colors available, so that you can use this for kind of doing your liquid liner or adding a little bit more definition to the look, because it's not going to have like tons of glitter all over your face. So it's not like a really glittery type of black. It's still quite on the matte side, but it has a touch of shimmer in it. And these colors are intense, like they're really pack a punch of color in here. So we have kind of neutrally golden shades, which I'm a big fan of for layering with my neutral palette. We have some colors which are awesome and fun to use, and then we have kind of grey browny shades as well. So it's got everything in it, but I would say to layer it with like a matte neutral palette as well, just so you don't have like too intense, unless that's the way that you like to go and you like to use really intense shades. This is slightly bigger than the other ones. If I show you guys the difference, it's just slightly bigger. It has that kind of glossier finish where all the other ones are a little bit more in the matte side, which I think adds a little kind of fun to it, because these look a little bit kind of classy and, you know, the neutral shades in here, and then this, you know, is going to be your fun one. So I hope that you found this a little bit helpful, and I would love to hear which of the palettes that kind of stuck out for you the most, because I'm thinking of doing like a giveaway, maybe like in the next few weeks or months or something. So I'd love to hear which ones you think you'd like the most and which ones you'd like to see in a giveaway. So definitely leave a comment about which ones stuck out for you. So I hope that you guys enjoyed that. I will talk to you soon. I'm Sinead Katie, and thank you for watching. And if you want to see the brushes from Blank Canvas Cosmetics and my kind of review on them, you can check the link up here, and I will talk to you soon. Bye bye.